not only in the United States, but it is affecting both children and adults all over the world. Due to this growing issue, the amount of professionals in this particular field are limited. Professionals are treating video game addiction the same way they would treat drug or alcohol addiction because they show similar symptoms as other addicts. Those who suffer show signs of needing more of a substance to keep them going. Also, if they do not receive the substance, they become miserable due to their dependency. A person reaches a point that they see virtual life better than reality.
He thinks it's fake, and a lot of people think it's fake, but when it comes up to it, it really bothers me.
Now to a case of video game addiction that's hard to believe. A 15-year-old boy has almost died after playing on his Xbox for at least 4 days straight. The teenager was so caught up in the game, he only emerged from his room to snack and go to the toilet. Tyler Rigsby doesn't even know how many days he was holed up in his room. He thinks it was 4 or 5, but he lost count. Totally engrossed in this game, Modern Warfare 3.
The life you knew before is gone. Today, we fight to bring it back.
Bring in adolescent psychologist Colette Smart. Good morning to you. Look, first up, I think, seriously, where was the mother? Exactly. To have a kid in his room for 4 days. But why do kids become so consumed by this? And how do you tell that they're not just hooked but addicted?
Well, any educator will be able to tell you that video games have long been known as excellent teachers. So they provide reward, they provide instant feedback. When we start seeing things like gaming affecting huge areas of a child's life, so schooling becomes affected, so school results go down, sleep gets affected. So as psychologists, we see a lot of kids with sleep deprivation where their schoolwork's being affected purely because they've been up too late or all night. Their friendships are being affected at school, and just generally they get agitated when they can't play. They can only focus and talk about the game, and they give up sport. So we start to see big changes in their lifestyle.
I started realizing when in class a few days I started, teacher would explain something, and then when she was done I would just blur out and I didn't even know she was talking at that point. And I couldn't pay attention, period. I was thinking of the game. I saw it, you know, like I was always thinking of it. I didn't pay attention to the teacher at all. I would always get home around 4 o'clock and I would be playing until about 10 at night.
Yeah.
No. It frightened me.
It frightened you?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know what happened. I just came over to my parents' house because we were going to watch the game, and my mom is shot, and my dad is shot, and my brother's here.
Does anybody know what happened? Did your brother shoot your parents?
I don't know. I think so.
I was a teenager at the time. There's a difference between knowing something and understanding something, and understanding that I was taking a human life.
You're seeing the blood on your parents, on your mom. What were you feeling at that moment?
I'm used to playing these games, and at the end of every round, everything just resets.
I have students that communicate through video games. While they're playing video games, they're talking about a project. So they're not focusing on the homework 100% because they're focusing on their game.
On their video game?
There has to be a limit, and after getting to know my student, he has always expressed that kids should never play by themselves. And he made a comment about video games and the the addiction to video games, that it's just like any other addiction, just like alcoholism or drug abuse. If kids spend too much time alone, then they're more able to go onto sites and video games that they shouldn't be playing.